Fall Fun Fact.
Did you know that football fields are often built north-south so the sun doesn't interfere with play? Well, now you know.
It's draw time with Mr. Mayberry. Time to draw.
Hi, welcome to Draw Time with Mr. Mayberry, Falltime Edition. It's football week on Draw Time, so we're drawing things that have to do with American football. Today I'm going to show you how to use one-point perspective to draw a football field. So let's get started. It's time to draw. For this drawing I'm going to be using a ruler for both a straight edge and also to measure with. And I'm using a 8.5 inch by 11 inch piece of copy paper to draw on. So to start with, what we're doing, we're making a one-point perspective drawing of a football field. So I'm going to start off by drawing, first we need the horizon line, and I'm going to put this in an exact spot. Now you can do all this just by estimation, but for this one I'm going to go ahead and measure everything out. I'm coming 2.5 inches from the top. I'm going to make a mark on both ends and then connect that, and this will be our horizon line. This is the imaginary line where the sky and the earth meet together. If you go outside you don't usually see a line across there, but that's if you had a flat space, like if you're out in a desert or just a flat land and then the sky, you saw it meet the horizon, it would look something like that. Okay, now also we're going to find the vanishing point, and this is where all of our vertical lines will disappear to. And I'm going to make it halfway across the paper. So I'm going to, half of 11 inches is 5.5. So I'm going to make a little mark here at 5.5 inches. And then down at the bottom edge of the football field will be 1 inch from the bottom. So I'm going to make a mark on either side, 1 inch from the bottom, and connect those two. And I'm also going to be measuring the playing field. I'm going to mark out where the yard lines would be, the 10-yard lines. And I'm going to start off, I need to find the middle of this bottom line as well. So it's going to be, again, 5.5 inches. And our first line that we're going to draw, actually let's go ahead and draw the other side of the field. I'm going to come up, the field's going to be 2 inches high, so I'm going to come up from that first line, that first inch line, 2 more inches, or you could measure from the bottom 3, just so you get these two lines 2 inches apart. So this is the top side of the field, or the part that's farther away. And I'm going to draw this line a little bit lighter because parts of it will be erased as we go through the drawing. Okay, so this is going to be the playing field itself. Now we're going to make it look like it's actually going back into space. And I'm going to start off with the center line. So this would be the 50-yard line. And what I'm doing, I'm lining up the center of this top line that we made and the center of the bottom line that we've already measured out 5.5 inches to the middle on both lines. And I'm going to go straight down. Now, really the only part you need to draw is between these two lines right here, because this is the actual playing field. But if you'd like, just to get a feel for how the vanishing point works, you could go all the way back to that. Okay, so this actually, there should be a dot here. That's the vanishing point. Okay, now you can, each of these lines on a football field would be painted lines, so they would be white, so they'd be a little bit wider too. You can make a double line at each one of these 10-yard lines that we're going to be making. That's this 50-yard line, so I'm going to put a 5-0 here at the bottom. A 5 on one side and 0 on the other for 50-yard line. Now I'm going to measure out, because these are evenly spaced across, I'm going to come down here, and 1 inch is going to equal 10 yards. So for a 100-yard field, I need to go 1 to 10 inches. So the center line of that would be 5 inches. So I'm going to line up. Now remember, this was 5.5 from the edge, but to do the lines right, I'm going to center the 5-inch mark on the 50-yard line. And that will actually give us a 1/2 inch on either side that we'll see that much of the end zone. Okay, so now what I need to do, now that I've lined that up in the center, I'm going to go along and make a mark at the beginning and then at each inch mark. So at 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, then over here on this side 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that should give us evenly spaced segments here for each of and each of these is 10 yards distance between. Okay, now to get the lines for these yard lines look like they're going back into space in the right direction, we're going to line each one of these up with the vanishing point. So I'm just going to start here on the right side and go all the way across. And again, once I line these two, line up the vanishing point and then this mark down here at the end, then all I really need to do is draw the line between this part of the field and this part of the field. So it'll look something like that. And you can make each of these a double line if you'd like. So draw 2 lines that are close together like that. And then it'll look like a painted white line. Okay, so I'm going to do that for each of these. Notice how I'm putting the pencil here on the dot to get the ruler lined up in the right spot. And that's just to make sure that the line would go all the way back to the vanishing point if I was to draw it all the way. Okay, last one. Okay, so this is the playing field. Now I'm going to go back and mark the yard lines here. So I have 40, that's the 40-yard line. They go backwards, 30, 30, and then 20, 20, and then 10 for 10. Now the other way does the same kind of thing. It's going to go backwards in number to the right. So 40, 30, 20, and 10. Okay, so this is the main part of the field. You could also put another line here below to make like a white line along the foul line here. And above as well, except let's wait on the top one because we have one more line to draw. Then down here on the outside we're going to make the end zone, and I'm going to just kind of eye this and try to make it look about the same distance as what these would be out from the side. Let's see, I'll go this side first. So about right here, lining it up, and this is going to go off the page on the left side. And then I want to do the same thing over here on the right. Line it up with the vanishing point, and then I'm just going to kind of make an estimate here of where that should be, how wide that should be. Okay, and I drew that one all the way. Alright. I can erase this one too while I'm at it. Don't need this one. Okay, so that's the end zone over here. Make a double line. Now that I know how long the field is in the back, I can add a second line here. Okay, and I can erase these first lines that we made off to the right of the field and to the left of the field. Okay, in between the 10-yard lines, you have the 5-yard lines. And so once again, I'm going to line up my 5 with the center, and then I'm going to mark every ½ inch all the way across, except for in the end zone. And then I'm going to line each of the 5-yard lines up with the vanishing point. And again, just drawing on the field. And this time I'm just going to make it a single line so it looks different than the 10-yard lines. In between these 5-yard markers, you have lines for each yard. And what you can do, you can line up your ruler. I'm going to line it up here even with the top edge, and then just very lightly draw a line across here, and the same up here towards the top. And there are 4 places that you would find these out here on the end, and there's going to be 4 lines in between each of these 5-yard markers. Okay, I've added the yard markers in between the 5-yard lines and the 10-yard lines at the bottom here, and then across this section towards the back and all the way across the back line here. Also, I've added the numbers of the yard lines, the 10-yard lines across the back here. They're just reversed like you would see it from the other direction. And I've added little arrow triangle markers that point towards the direction that show you this is 50 yards away from the end zone or 40 yards from this end zone that you see beside the numbers. Now, of course, you can add as much detail as you'd like to this picture. If you'd like to look at a photograph of a football field, you could find more things to put in here. You could put your players, you could put the stands, you can put the referees, all kinds of things you could add to the picture. If you hold on to this till next time, I'm going to show you how to draw the goalpost here at the end zones on either side. Go ahead and clean up your drawing, add color if you like. And this is our drawing for today, a 1-point perspective football field. Well, now that you know how to draw a football field, if you hold on to your drawing, in the next lesson I'll show you how to draw a goalpost. Well, that's all for now. Thank you for taking time to draw with me. I hope you'll come back again, and remember, if you want to be a good artist, do a little drawing every day.
That's beautiful.
Interference on the sun. 5-yard penalty.